Quiz tomorrow. So everything up to right now. Well, I mean, no, it's only going to be 4 or 5 questions. I'm not going to give you the same stuff again. It'll be, well, I'll give you anything, whatever. Okay, but I'll emphasize the last few days, right? Using a TVM. But that is the same stuff, isn't it? It's all compound interest, just a different way to do it. What's a portfolio? Sure. Do you guys have a portfolio you have to do to graduate from high school? You're lucky. They used to. Now we call it grad transitions. It's always something. A few years ago it was called CAP. Don't ask me what it was. Some stuff you had to do, extra stuff to graduate, okay? Can be helpful, can be useful. Sometimes it just seems like some tedious make-work project. So portfolio, what we're concerned about with this word is it's a number of investments, okay? We've all done single investments. Well, now it's just going to be, you know, this person has a portfolio of this, 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 and this. It's nothing you haven't done, it's just more of it. So one problem is going to be 4 problems in one, essentially. That's it. Okay, so just one example. Got a few words here. When Janine was 0, her uncle what was all the problem with the art medal? Yeah, we figured it out. $1,000. Does any of you, I asked if you had an RESP, maybe you do, maybe you don't, maybe you just didn't know. Has anybody's grandparents invested money for them, for you guys, for something in the future? No? No? Okay. They just go to Mexico and spend it instead? That's what you're supposed to do. Janine. Sure. That works too. Her uncle invested $1,000 in a GIC at 4.5%, compounded semi-annually. Okay. Her grandparents also started investing. Sounds like a nice family, doesn't it? In a CSB, Canada Savings Bond. When she was 5, at $40 a month. From their hard-earned seniors' pensions. Compounded monthly at 3.5%. And Janine, or Janice, whoever you want her to be, started, she's a good saver herself. She also started putting away $50 a month in a savings account. Hey, that's about a smartphone payment, isn't it? $50 a month, if you're lucky. That pays 2.5% compounded monthly when she started working at 15 years old. It's starting to feel like English. Janine is now 22. And she wants to open her own business. How much does she have? Assuming they all give her this money. And if they didn't, well, we wouldn't have much of a question here, would we? So again, it's just, you've done this before, all right? It would have been 1, 2, 3 questions. Maybe it'll be 4 questions, just all rolled into one. The problem is, when you're doing these in the book, they just have one answer in the back. So if you made a mistake, how do you know where you made your mistake? One little mistake, your answer is going to be wrong, and you won't know where you made it. Okay, that's the bad part. They should have kind of broke up the answer and said, well, this part's this one, this part's that one. Add them all together, and we get this. So if you can't find the answer, at least you know where to find your mistake. Okay, but I did check them, and they do work. The ones I'm giving you, so at least you know they do work. Okay, there's not a typo in there. Okay, so just break it up. This is the first thing. Let's call it 1, okay? This is the second part. We'll call that 2. This is the third part. We'll call that 3. Is there any other investments here? Or is there just 3? See any others, Tristan? Are you guessing, or are you just going with me? Okay, yeah, there's 3. That's it, right? Okay. So, we got some little bit of math to do, though. When she was born, her uncle invested $1,000 in a GIC at 4. Let's do this one first, right? Okay, that's number 1. And I got to scroll down back and forth here. This is too big, doesn't fit on my screen. Okay, when she was born. Well, so how long? What's the time period here? For number 1, N is, well, she's now 22. So yeah, that's 22 years. This is compounded semi-annually, which is how many times a year? Twice a year. So 22 times a year times twice a year, that's what N is. What's I for number 1? 4.5. Okay, what else do we got? The next thing is present value. Is there a present value? Well, what's that? But okay, before we did payments, did we know how to do this question? We didn't call this thing a payment. We know how to do this. That's the present value. There is no payments. There's no payments monthly here. It's just a lump sum at the beginning. Here's how much it is today, $1,000. How much is it in 22 years? That's the present value. Okay? See, we knew how to do it, and then I showed you something else, and then now we forgot. There is no payment. Okay? Okay, what else do we know? Compound periods per year, semi-annual. Payments per year, and this is the tricky one. Well, I said there's no payments, but this thing's compounded twice a year. It's compound interest. That's why it grows the way it does, right? You have to compound that interest at some point. If it just was paid at the end, it would be simple interest. Okay, so that's what payments per year here means. It's just the interest. That's compounding. There's no real extra payment. But you still got to put a 2 there. Okay? So you do all that. What's my future value? Apps, enter. By the way, did you guys know you could do this? 22 times 2? Oh, I didn't. No. Yeah, how much is that in 22 years, right? What's the future value? I's 4.5. Okay, present value. No payment. What's the future value? Don't know. That's a 2. That one will change to a 2 by default. 26, 61, 86. Okay, that's the first thing. I need to add to that my second investment. Okay, let's go have a look at that. Let me make that one blue. Investment number 2. That's this stuff. Grandparent started in a CSB when she was 5. How old is she now? Okay, so how many years is that? I got 17 years. Then I got to go back and see blah, 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 a month. How many payments? That's what N is. How many payments? So 17 years, how many times a year? Okay, that's what N is, okay? What else do I know? 40 bucks a month. What's the interest rate? 3.5. What's the present value? We didn't start with anything. We didn't plunk anything down. We just started payments of 40 bucks a month. Okay? Present value is 0. My payment is 40. All right? Nothing. Just 40 bucks a month. That's different than the first one. The first one there was no payments. Okay, what else do I know? Compounding per year. This was monthly, right? And they actually did pay in money, a payment monthly as well. Okay, plunk that stuff in now. 17 times 12, 3.5. 0 for a present value. My payment's 40 bucks a month. That's 12. Future value. Ooh, nice. 40 bucks a month sure adds up, eh? You can take your date to Subway or save it and buy yourself a Subway. Your choice. 11,000. It's more than that, but hey. 128. Just trying to make a point. 61. All right, 2 down, 1 to go. Of course, we're going to add all these, right? Investment number 3. She started putting 50 bucks a month away because she's a smart girl. Her parents taught her well. Save, save, save. In a savings account, 2.5% when she was 15. Okay, we're going to assume here, like, when she was 15, boom, she started working. I mean, it's the beginning of 15, right? So you could argue, well, no, she saved when she was 15 years and 364 days. You could make the argument, I'm saying at 15. So she saved when she was 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. She just turned 22, let's assume. Simple math, what's 22 minus 15? 7. Okay? I'm not trying to confuse you here. I'm not going to say she's 22 and a half when she started working. She was 15 in 1 month. Okay. 7 years. Compounded how often? Yeah. So the number of payments, 7 years. There's 12 payments a year. That's what N is, the number of compounding periods. Okay, interest rate. 2.5. Present value? Correct. There could be both, by the way. We could have put $100 down and then $50 a month. It can happen. We haven't had one like that, but that's possible. Payment, $50. Compound per year, again, that's 12. And payments a year, that's 12 too. We're actually paying in monthly. Okay, what's the future value here? Whoop. 7 times 12, 2.5, no payment, sorry, no present value, payment's 50. $45, $84, $71. Okay. So, how much does she have now to put as a down payment to buy her Subway store? Just add them together. And I got $18,375. 18. Is that enough for a down payment on a Subway store?
Is it?
I don't know. Again, it's not just any Subway store. I mean, they got to look at the books. A very profitable one? No way. Okay? Maybe the one here in Chase, how do they do? I don't know, right? Okay? You know, some people have bought in McDonald's restaurants for $10,000, and other ones, they won't sell them. And if the price might be $1 million, okay? That's how much money they make. Who knows? Okay? It all depends on how it does. No Subway is the same. They're all different. Maybe combined with a bank loan, you don't just buy it cash, right? I mean, smart business, you want to use other people's money if there's risk involved. But they don't give you something for nothing. You got to come up with some of your as well. Okay, 65, just 2 to 4. Doesn't look like much, does it? Yeah, wait till you see the questions.